So all the crime up there is white on white crime, but you don't call it that. You just call it a crime. But see, they want to label it because it denigrates people of color. I'm going to give you an example. It's a true example. It's a long time ago, back in the 90s. This Klansman, again, I do a lot of riding around with Klan people in my car. Anyway, this one exalted Cyclops was in my car. And we got on the topic of black on black crime. And he was saying that all black people, and I've heard this a million times since, all black people have a gene within us that causes us to be violent. I'm driving, he's sitting over here. And I said, what are you talking about? And he said, well, who's committing all the carjackings and drive-bys in Southeast? He was referring to Southeast Washington, D.C., which is a predominantly black quadrant in Washington, D.C. There's some white people that live there, but it's predominantly black, and it's very high crime ridden. All right. I said, okay, it's black people. I said, but that's what lives there. You're not considering the demographics. I said, who's doing all the crime in Bangor, Maine? White people, because that's who lives there. He says, no, demographics have nothing to do with it. You all are born with that gene. And I said, I'm as black as anybody you've ever seen. I have never done a carjacking or a drive-by. How do you explain that? He didn't even hesitate 1 second. He answered me like that. He said, your gene is latent. It hasn't come out yet. It almost came. It almost came out. But, I was so dumbfounded. I had no response. I mean, what he said was just so far out, I couldn't even grasp it and rebut it. So I was speechless for a second. He's sitting over here all smug. You got nothing to say. So I thought about it. Okay, well, he can't come to my level. I got to go to his level. So I said, all white people have a gene within them. They're born with a gene within them that makes them a serial killer. And he said, how do you figure? I said, name me 3 black serial killers. He thought about it. He couldn't even name one. I said, here, I'm going to name one for you. I named one for him. I said, here, I'm going to give you one. Now, just give me 2. He couldn't even give me 2, right? I said, Charles Manson, Jeffrey Dahmer, Henry Lee Lucas, John Wayne Gacy, Albert DeSalvo, the Boston Strangler, David Berkowitz, Son of Sam, Ted Bundy. I said, they're all white. I said, son, you're a serial killer. He said, Daryl, I've never killed anybody. I said, your gene is latent, hasn't come out yet, right? He goes, well, that's stupid. I said, well, duh. I said, you're right, it is stupid. But it's no more stupid for me to say that about you than what you said about me. And he got very, very quiet. Again, he had nothing to say. It was less than half a year, actually. He quit the Klan. His Klan robe was the first Klan robe that I ever got.